Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is November 9th, about 11 o'clock in the morning. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. So we only do these if we have to. We're using the but for. We're doing the disclaimer, use allegedly. Use the but for standard. But for Mr. Perry's unwanted contact, harassment, butting in, bothering, causing loss, catastrophic, the kind you don't get over. But for that, we wouldn't do these. Apply the reasonable person standard, and we assert all civil rights, which we shouldn't have to do. By the way, we just have them. We assert, Sullivan versus New York Times Company. We assert. He likes to shut the victims up. He doesn't like it that he keeps getting caught. And he's very slow. So he's not understanding when you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught. Nothing else happens. There's no date. You're a 10-year reject. You're just making everybody mad. So I'm going to reiterate I'm going to reiterate what our witness said a long time ago. Long as I've known Charles Perry, he trolls women. He's excuse me, he's a serial stalker. He'll travel alone without his wife, Jackie. He will find women who are divorced with children. He'll watch their schedule, and when they're not home, he'll have somebody get in the house and put hidden cameras. He'll either buy the landlord or the maintenance guy, or he'll buy a locksmith or get a bump key. He has various ways of getting in, puts hidden cameras in. Then he begins to broadcast these women in the privacy of their home without their consent or knowledge, and their children all over the net. And he sells watch time. He's a peeping Tom. Peeping Tom is a crime. He thinks it's a date. So he's raking it in. Then he's a sexual sadist, the guy said. So what he'll do is he'll cause them to lose their job. Then he will cause them to lose their home. He'll make sure they can't find another job. He'll hack them, see where they're trying to get a new job, or have them followed, and then go in behind them and make sure they don't get more work. They don't have any money. They can't pay the rent. He'll cause conflicts in the family so nobody's loaning money. And then when they lose their house, he'll have the ex take the kids away. There's not a greater injury to a woman than fucking with the kids. He likes it. He gets off on it, the guy said. He said he likes getting women all upset and hysterical so he can go rub one out. He's a sex weirdo, the man said. So, about in February, I think we put something on the blog about Mr. Perry was threatening me. He was telling me, I'm going to have your whole family sue you. Your whole family turn against you. Why would you do that? You think that's going to get you a date? It's called gaslighting. Do it. He is doing it. I'm getting along with my son perfectly fine. All of a sudden, I send my son money, and my son won't talk to me. So you made a phone call. And if we knew that Mike Nealey was drugged, Mr. Perry, I said it before, months before. Even the Florida State's attorney and Mr. Nealey's attorney had not even taken depositions yet. And so this was not out yet, and I said it. In March 2020, it didn't come out till May 2020 in depositions by first responders. I also said he was not given a blood tox panel before being given Narcan. He was given a blood test after. That's a Brady violation. He didn't do it. He just didn't do it. So you fucked with my kid. But you have been. Because when I'm at Lady Godiva's, soap opera PD guy comes in and tells me, your son is gonna need therapy. Charles Perry has been going around introducing him as his stepson. Your son looked like he wanted to vomit. Looked very uncomfortable because your son knows you don't like Charles. So that's why you guys moved. We didn't move once, Mr. Perry. We moved twice to get away from you and your drama and your delusion. Your delusion is so bad, it's squirting out your ears and it smells. I mean, it stinks to high heaven. You are a monster. There's no fucking way I would go on a date with somebody like you. You're making everybody mad, sir. Causing devastation and loss. And when you fuck with me, you get caught. So one of his guys in his little creepster organization it was we got recorded. Mr. Perry is very, very frustrated with you. He said, we've not had one of our victims do what she's done. She always finds out before what we're going to do. She always says something before, like Mike Nealey was drugged. The harassment email, the McNamara email, all the things we keep saying beforehand. We're gonna get her car. Every since August 2019, Mr. Perry, you guys are recorded talking about get my car every day. How much gas does she have? What's the mileage on that car? Is there cruise control? All the time, you want my car. Every fucking day. And then Mr. Robertson has gone around and told everybody, that he wants, she's not going to get Michael out of jail. Whoa. And so I'm like, wow, okay, well, you're implicating yourself because you shouldn't give a shit. This is the one about my car. Look at the last highlighted sentence there. It's not legit, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. Recorded, Mr. Perry. So you got a guy that's very frustrated with you. How come she's always finding out? It's been 6 years of this every fucking day. We're quoting you or somebody. So there was a lot yesterday I typed up that I didn't put out. It's not out. It's, you don't get to know. You don't get to know. I filed a motion to vacate 12/10/31. My guy calls me yesterday. I have not looked at the docket. I haven't. They've told me not to right now. I will today, later today. My guy calls me and he goes, hey, the prosecutor said you need to file a pauper's motion with that. So you need to take care of that tomorrow. I have help, Mr. Perry, and I have help you can't get to. I do not like you. You make all my skin crawl. You're just a wannabe. You're just pathetic. You're just some weirdo drama queen that can't move on like everybody else can. And I'm not like your other victims, am I? You fucked with the wrong people this time. Didn't I say that? I think I've said that a lot. I think I've said it every damn day. For a decade. You're a 10-year reject. You don't know how to get women to like you, do you? You don't do it by taking their kids away or interfering in their family relationships and butting in, or you've not been asked to come around. I didn't invite you to my life in Oklahoma. I came here to get away from you. I didn't come here to pick a fight with anybody. I came here to get away from a fight, and you know that. And you're coming around, and you're a troublemaker. You're all about the drama. There are people, you don't understand, there are cops up here that have complained and complained and complained. Oh, we got Liz Taylor coming back up today. Last thing I want to have to deal with is that. That bitch's drama. And that you guys come up and you're arrogant and you start ordering everybody around like they work for you. They work for us. They work for the citizens, Mr. Perry, not you. Private money, your private money is bribery. It's a crime if you're paying cops. We pay cops. Taxpayers pay the police to protect us. We have a thing called equal protection. Gender bias is not okay. Misogyny is not okay. You're not owed anything. Everybody gets rejected and we all move on. I'm sure your son has been rejected and he moved on. Why can't you? You're pathetic. What are you giving your kids to be proud of, Mr. Perry? I get threatened all the time, and I find a way to put you back in jail. I'm going to kill you. And I find a way it's not linked to me. Are ya? I'm going to take all your family away from you. And you have. You did exactly what the witness said. So you keep proving our case for us. And I don't think you get that. I think you're so slow, you don't get that. And Robertson goes around to tell everybody, she's not going to get Michael Nealey out of jail. She's not going to get her inheritance money. And I'm going, say it to my fucking face. And by the way, you're implicating yourself when you do that. Because if you had nothing to do with Chief Miller's death, what do you care if Mike Nealey goes home? Thank you, Mr. Robertson, for going around and telling everybody who will listen that what you can do and get away with. We love that. It's called confession. We're getting it, by the way. Like nobody else you know. And this guy's asking questions. How come she always finds out? How come she always finds out before? We've never had that happen before. How come Charles doesn't get it, that that's what's happening? We've never had that happen before. Right? These guys like going after my car, too. They just did it again recently. Went out my car. I don't know what plan. I mean, you're caught. We don't even get you. Ringtone Richard. Get a ringtone. Get a ringtone for a year. That bitch talked about getting my ringtone off my phone. You're caught. What do you need my ringtone for? What difference does it make to you? I'm going to tell you something. Whatever goes out about what Mr. Perry's doing to me is not the crime. There's an episode on Dateline. There's an episode on Netflix. There's an episode on whatever. O.J. Simpson killed Nicole on the news. O.J. Simpson stalked Nicole first, by the way. That's not the crime. Somebody telling. The crime is O.J. stalking. The crime is O.J. murdered Nicole. The crime is what happened in that courtroom that he didn't get found guilty. Something went bad wrong in that courtroom, did it not? There's a group of people that think he did it. A group of people that probably think he didn't. Either way, we're entitled to our opinion. And we're entitled to say it. This is a free country. You're not the victim, Mr. Perry. You got rejected, and we all get rejected, and we all just move on. Why can't you? You're pathetic. You're absolutely freaking pathetic. You're a pest. You're a wannabe. You butt in. Nobody asked you what you thought, and you just never shut up about it. I didn't ask you what you thought, Mr. Perry. I didn't ask you what you thought, Mr. Perry. I don't care what you think, Mr. Perry. Nobody cares what you think. Shut up and go away. You were asked to go away. Get the fuck out of my life, weren't you? So this is the McNamara email, Mr. Perry. You act like you don't know what this is. This is one of those things I knew before. This a false arrest. You are all about, I'm going to subjugate. I'm going to retaliate. RICO violations. Put her back in jail so she'll shut up and do what I say. I'm going to turn her whole family against her and gaslight her. Guess what? And these guys are like, normally these women just do what we say. This one won't. No, I won't. When are you going to get it? You're slow. Nobody has caught your crime like we have. No one. In your entire life. How many times were you caught in crime? Before you met me? How many after, Mr. Perry? I want that number. I think it's more in a week than it has been your entire life before you met me. Dave Robertson, you too. Y'all stay the fuck away from my family. I don't know how many different ways I need to say that. Mr. Perry's always asking me, who told on me? Is it your kids? Is it your family? Who's stolen on me? I win, call me. I win, call me. I win, call me. What did you win? You don't have a date? Nobody's in love with you. Nobody wants you. What did you win? I think you bought a judge. That's not winning. I think you bought a judge and you wouldn't let me in court. I think you pissed a lot of people off when you did that. I'm going to tell you something right now. Everybody in Lubbock knew you did me dirty on that false arrest, and everybody in Lubbock expected you to make it right. Matt Powell went around telling everybody I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. I wish I hadn't done that. That was a colossal mistake. I should have got to know her better when she lived in Lubbock. Everybody knew. You know how Lubbock is. Something happens at 8. By 8:11, it's all over town. Everybody makes a phone call. You can't tell anybody, but... yeah, and then they do. That's the town you live in. Everyone knew. Everyone fully expected you to make it right. And when you just drugged me through court and fucked me over again, you don't even know how many people you pissed off. You know, you just do what you do, and we just sit there and go, well, okay. Because we're going to put you in jail. It's a criminal case, Mr. Perry. You keep doing exactly what we say. And we're all like, wow. It's so easy, it's not even fair. We say he's threatening this, and then he does it. We say he's caught planning this, and then he does it. Most people are smart enough to stop when they're caught, Richard. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. I lived in Vegas. You see a lot of shit in Vegas. I've not seen anything like you guys. I don't even have words. I have no words. I don't even know what to say. But your guys, your higher-ups, are starting to question your sanity. We've never had one do this before. Normally, they subjugate. They do what we say. Not this one, where she gets pissed off and everything blows up. All he's doing is pissing her off and everything blows up. And she finds out before. How is that happening? Yep, you don't know. I said there's a need to know. You can make all the phone calls you want to make. Nobody's going to tell you fucking thing. None of you. It's a need to know. You have child pornography problems, Mr. Perry, allegedly. Nobody's going to tell you a fucking thing. Dead Lucky and Framed Mike, nobody is absolutely going to tell you a fucking thing now. Since you did that, David, you're implicating yourself when you go around telling everybody she's not going to get Mike out. I'm sad to say she's not going to get Mike out. Why don't you say it to my face? Schedule an appointment with your attorney. Say it to my fucking face. Don't go around saying it behind my back. And you're implicating yourself, by the way. What do you care? If you had nothing to do with that, what the fuck do you care? What difference did it make to you if I testified for him? See, you implicate yourselves when you do what you do. When you try to coerce me. Use my family to pressure me, Mr. Perry. Do it. I've been saying that's what you do. That's what you just did. My kid and I are talking just fine. We're getting along great. I send him money, and now he won't talk to me. You called him. You called him. We know you called him. We recorded the phone call. So, don't ask me again, is it your family? That's my leak. What I told you to do is stay the fuck away from my family, did I not? You didn't change anything. You didn't stop anything. You don't know who you're dealing with, Mr. Perry. But you don't have a date, so what did you win? Your crime is more uncovered than it's ever been in your life. What exactly do you think you won? You bought a judge. But you have another judge watching everything. What did you win? A date with men? In jail? We have a judge, Mr. Perry, that got me this. I'm sorry. He granted orders that got me this McNamara email, Mr. Perry. The Mike Nealey was drugged email, Mr. Perry. You're not getting it. You're slow. And you're irritating the shit out of everybody. This harassment email. I'm going to send her home, make her think everything's okay. I'm going to harass the fuck out of her. And when she talks about it, I'm going to say she's harassing me. And then you did it. And when you were planning all this, and I'm in Lubbock and illegally incarcerated from the first false arrest, you're already planning the second one. Justice Scalia, who is a proponent of the First Amendment, or was all, of all places, in West Texas when he dies. And then y'all covered that up too. William O. Ritchie, commander of D.C. Homicide Police, says something's wrong in West Texas. They didn't follow the procedure we would have followed had he died in D.C. He didn't die anywhere else, Mr. Perry, and he didn't die in any other time. He died right then, right there. And you think nobody suspects you? You're off your nut. Everybody does, you sicko. You're a serial killer. I know that. You're fucking with my family. I'm pissed about it. You think you're going to isolate me and subjugate me, and you are off your nut on that too. Fuck you. Get off me. Get off me, rapist. Voyeurism is a form of rape. Get the fuck off me. You got a judge granting investigatory orders. I'm not going to say exactly what those are, but some of them might be wiretap orders, you sicko. Everything you say, I'm repeating it. I have been since the McNamara email. Mike Nealey was drugged. I said it before anybody else. You are slow. You're not getting it. You're in a lot of trouble. Stay the fuck away from my family. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you, bitch. Get out of my life. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, get out of my life. I don't like you. That romance in your head is bizarre. It's abnormal. You're a deviant. You're a sex deviant. You're a sex offender, allegedly. There's not a date. There will never be a date. You're a 10-year rejected wannabe and nothing more. You don't matter to me. Who's helping me, Mr. Perry? Who is telling me what you just said? It's a need to know. You don't know because you don't matter. I do. I matter. And when my son did that to me, those guys went ballistic. They went nuts. They are pissed. When you fuck with my family, that's what happens. You don't get a date, you sicko. You don't get a date. There's no date. There won't be a date ever. I win. Call me. He's typing that in my phone. I win. Call me. I win. Call me. I win. I'm like, oh my God. What are you, 3 years old? That's not sexy. It's weirdo. It's fucked up. You're weirdo. Look at Fabian. Look at everybody I've ever dated. Did they act like you? Of course not. It's beneath them. You're deviant. It's not normal. You're strange. You don't get a date shitting all over people. Not how you get a date. It's bizarre. When you commit a crime, it's kind of a turnoff. See, a bunch of people got together in all 50 states, thousands. It takes thousands to pass a law. You don't know this. You're a legislator. But we do think you're very confused as to what a legislator is supposed to do. Because you thought stalking was part of that. Didn't you? You went into court and said, oh, she's a good political vendetta against me. And there is no evidence to support that claim at all. There's no arguments between me and you at all. And you don't matter. You're not relevant. You're trying to force me back to Texas so you can at least say, well, see, if she's in another state, my politics don't matter to her. I got to force her back to Texas so then I could say it does. But, that's 8 years ago. I've been gone for 8 years. I haven't seen Mr. Perry since January 2013. He sits and watches me every day because he doesn't have a life. My guys sit there and watch you watch me. Just so you know, they're in your computer because you got in mine. You're a sex offender, Mr. Perry. You and your child pornography. I don't know. So your guy's asking questions. How this one won't subjugate. He pisses her off and all of a sudden everything blows up. It's been that way since the McNamara email. Right here. Here's the date on that. Look at the date. October 29, 2015. He's trying to find a way to arrest me because I won't go out with him and he wants to retaliate. He can't get a date. He's pathetic and stupid. I'm going to force her. That's called rape. I don't like you. You're a reject. You're just a stalker. Stalking is a crime. Voyeurism is a crime. Hacking is a crime. Not a date, weirdo. You're a sex weirdo. Normal guys do not act like you, and they can get a date. And you can't. Where's Jackie when you're fucking with me like this and my family? I understand you came up here and inserted yourself in my life. You were seen hanging out with my family and my friends, my coworkers, and my son. And everybody started asking questions why 6 years later he's not seen with her, ever. She's suing him. She hates him. And he's not getting that. He's making a fool of himself. And there was a guy that said, if I ever go around being delusional like Charles Perry, shoot me. I'd rather be dead than act like him. And make a fool out of myself like that. I'd rather be dead. I got this in jail. Notice this, Mr. Perry. Your name isn't on it. My guys listen to what I say. They get it the first time. I said, I want Fabian. I don't want Charles. He makes my skin crawl. He's weirdo. He's a delusional weirdo. He's an embarrassment to me. I wouldn't walk in a room with that. Not for millions of dollars. And you know you've tried to get me for $1 million. Oh, I'll pay you. I'll give you a house. I'll buy you a car. Nope. I'll give you whatever you want. You know what I want is you're not here. You're gone. You're gone. That's what I want. I've worked very hard and I've sacrificed a lot to help put you in jail so you can't hurt people anymore. There won't be any more harassment of my family and my children. There won't be any more peeping and hacking and bothering and bothering and bothering. And you never shut up. You never shut up. Nobody asked you what you think. No one. This depicts you as the selfish butt-in. But at the end of the day, you didn't stop that. Or what you did is you made them intersect at exactly the right moment, didn't they? That's what you did. I got this in jail. Who has the kind of power to get that to me in jail, Charles? You don't know, do you? TPD. This got to me in jail. Because I have police helping me that you can't even begin to keep up with. They're pretty upset with you. Because had you prosecuted obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence, perjury, there wouldn't be a dead Lucky and a framed Mike. And we're very, very disappointed and hurt because you have two families that'll never be the same. They will not be the same. You failed. Where were you when Mike was in trial? Where were you looking over his case like I did? Where were you when those two police officers needed your assist? There was a blatant obstruction in my case. Blatant. Mr. Powell didn't preserve any evidence. He didn't even try. They tried to kill me, and he didn't get shit. And I lost my evidence of attempted murder because you didn't step up and you didn't do your job. And now we have a dead cop. And then they try to do the same thing to Mike Nealey. Why would you do that, TPD? Why the fuck would you do that to them? Why wouldn't you help Mike? What in the hell is wrong with you? That you would allow these families to go through this. They can't get Lucky back. There's a little girl, I promise you, walking in her parents' bedroom, sitting on Dad's side of the bed, needing to speak with him. She has a lot to tell him, and he's just gone. And that's your fault. And I will not forgive you. I will not. Because you didn't prosecute the obstruction. It was blatant obstruction, and you know that. And I know what that little girl feels like because I do that with my granddad. I want to talk to him, and he's not here. I have a lot to say. My granddad wasn't killed in the line of duty. He had a disease. How much worse for her is it that her dad was just taken suddenly? My granddad, we prepared. We knew he was sick. We knew he was going to die. He was older. What about a little girl who has no dad to speak to? When she has something she needs to tell him, that's your fault. You gave these bitches a pass. What the fuck is wrong with you? Had we known, we have a bigger case. It's a lot bigger. The guy who's asking what has going on with this girl, that she's not like our other victims. She finds out before and everything blows up. Charles fucks with her and everything blows up. And he's not getting that. He's slow. We have to do something. That guy's in trouble with us. You got 5. Mr. Perry's always wanting to talk. He never shuts up, and I promise you I can get him in a room and get confessions on all kinds of shit. If you would give me that chance. It's called law enforcement. Maybe you should try it sometime. You don't attack the victim for telling what's happening to her. You get the bad guy that's causing it. You get the bad guy that's causing it. It's called law enforcement. Try it sometime. These guys got this to me in jail. What kind of power? That's a lot of power. Get me that in jail. It's very specific to me, is it not? It's not anybody else's name on the puzzle. It's Fabian's name. It's Fabian's name. Because I said that's the guy I want in my life, not Charles. That's the guy who said, I think you deserve better than to spend the rest of your life being harassed by this man. I think so too. The boo is a private joke between me and one of those cops. Sad is he causes sadness and fear. And we're sick of it. We're tired of it. You fuck with my kids. Oh my God. And you don't know the hell that is about to hit you. You are nuts if you think I would go on a date with a sick little fuck like you. There's no way. There's no damn way. I moved twice to get away from you. Listen to the words, Mr. Perry. You're irritating me because you're slow. David, go around telling more people where Mike Nealey's not getting out of jail. Say it again. I dare you. You want to keep implicating yourself to anybody who will listen? We're glad to have the confession. We're glad to have it because you shouldn't care. If you didn't do that murder, what do you care? What the fuck do you care? You're also getting more caught in your crime than ever before in your life. I want those numbers. How many times before you met me and how many after? Why is that? See, you guys, why have you ever sat down and gone, why is it that when we fuck with her, she won't subjugate? She gets pissed off. She starts swinging and telling everybody what we just said, and no one can figure out how she gets that information. Stop killing people. Stop it. Stop contacting my family. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, get off of them. I love my family. We'll work things out between us. You get the fuck out of it and stop being a butt-in. Nobody invited you here, and nobody asked you what you think, Mr. Perry. No one asked you what you think. These are the texts I sent to Fabian the night David Robertson came in the first time I met him. And we're talking, and he goes, why don't you like Charles? Oh, I don't know, maybe because he's a fucked up weirdo. Might that be why? When he introduced me, he walked up to I was on stage. Pretty much, you can't get off stage. Somebody's walking up and threatening you. There's not much you can do. If I had to, I probably would have run off. And he comes up and he goes, what's your real name? And I go, I don't tell customers my real name. Who the fuck are you? I'm David Robertson. Charles Perry sent me in. I know your real name. When you're off stage, you get over here and you talk to me. And he sat right at the end of the stage. I had to walk by him. I had nowhere else to go. He says, you're going to recant your claims that he's stalking you, or I'm going to put you in the lake. You like boats? I looked at him and I said, oh, really? You death threats? No, I don't like boats. Charles is sitting right outside. I'm going to take you where your heart really wants to go. I go, you're off your nut. I'm not going outside with you, weirdo. I'm not. I don't know who the fuck you think you are. He says, why don't you like this guy? Why don't you like Charles? Because he's a weirdo. What's there to like? He's a monster. I don't know. I don't like him. And then there's that whole Fabian thing. And he goes, Fabian doesn't want you. I said, I have to hear that from Fabian. You're not his spokesperson. See, you guys always try to be everybody's spokesperson. You tell everybody what they think. You tell everybody what they want. You tell everybody what, here's what she says. And no, I speak for me and nobody else speaks for me. Fabian speaks for Fabian and nobody else speaks for Fabian. Why don't you get a life? You're pathetic. Button in to things that don't concern you. Can't be normal. Gun to your head, you can't do it, can you? You don't have any power. You don't have any control to just do what the average person can do. Be normal. Go work. Get a life. And now you got this big thing, this big uncovered up $25 million didn't cover up shit, did it, Mr. Perry? Never happened to you before, and it's happening now. You fuck with my family, it's going to get a lot worse for you, I promise. You pissed all my guys off. They went ballistic. They went ballistic. That's your kid. That is your child. Wow. Wow. These are not guys you want to piss off, Mr. Perry. So Dave Robertson says, I said, I have to hear that from Fabian. And he goes, actually, the two men fought over you for months. Well, I think first he said, well, he just wants to fuck you. Again, I got to hear that from Fabian. Why not let us fuck? Why are you dragging this out? So I think you're full of crap. Oh, actually, the two men fought over you. There's nothing to fight over. I do not like Charles Perry. There's nothing there. It's not between Fabian and Charles Perry. That decision is my decision and my decision alone. And I don't want Charles. I want Fabian. Go fuck yourself. Get out of here. And then Robertson says, all right. We'll stop the stalking. Here's my phone number. If you have any more problems, call me. It got worse. This was before my false arrest. So when I'm in jail, I get that because the guys I work with are very good at what they do, and they get it the first time I say it. You don't get it after over and over and over. I don't like you. And your bullshit, I win, call me. Makes me want to slap the shit out of you. Fuck you. Get off me. I'm never going to call you. I'm never going on a date with you. And I'm sick of repeating myself over and over. And you don't get it. You're slow and it's making everybody mad. Your contact isn't wanted. I didn't ask you what you think. I don't care. You need to act normal. It is a crime to stalk a woman and to continue making unwanted contact and to voyeur and hack and bother. And when you fuck with me, you get caught. Like never before in your life. Do it again, David. One more time. Tell somebody I'm not going to... She thinks she's going to get Mike Nealey out of jail. She's not getting Mike Nealey out of jail. Say it again, David. I dare you. Say it one more time. I dare you. You people are nuts. You are nuts. So, the thing with Mike Nealey is I said it before anybody else fucking said it. In March. Is that the one? Yep, that's the one. Look at the last of it. Officer Nealey also required a full tox panel to see what was in his body that caused him to be unconscious and required the treatment of Narcan, which helped. He came to. It's right there at the very bottom. The date here, March 2nd. Look at the top. I knew that. It wasn't out yet. Didn't come out till May. They hadn't deposed anybody. The attorneys didn't even know that. Not officially. Gotta let him out of jail. He didn't do it. Because when you have a beatdown, you don't look like that. Not a mark on him. And he supposedly beat someone to death. And I'm telling everybody, we're going to get him out. You can get him out your way and you control that. Or you fail and we'll do it and you won't like how we do it. If you don't like it when I repeat what you just said when you're trying to do another crime against me, you're not going to like it how we get him out, David. So you do go around and tell everybody she's not getting him out. Okay. I'll remember you said that. Thanks for the confession. Because if you didn't do that murder, you wouldn't give a shit. Mr. Perry, Mr. Powell, Mr. Roberson, Mr. Burson, Mr. Chadwick, y'all didn't have anything to do with this murder. You wouldn't have cared if I testified. I would have testified. And we had a reporter that said that. If there was any doubt in our minds before that you guys were right, there's not now. She ranted for a year. They're harassing me. They're not going to let me testify. They're trying to kill me. They're trying to starve me. They're trying to coerce me. RICO violation after RICO violation after RICO violation. Crime after crime after crime. They're not going to let me testify. Sure shit, that's exactly what happened. What do they care? What do they care? If they didn't do that murder, what the fuck do they care? And another guy was like, I had 3 people in my office go, how did they even know she was in Manford? We didn't know. We're not stalking her. Her whole complaint started from the very beginning about stalking. Charles Perry's a stalker. He's making unwanted attention with a woman who can't stand him. He's got a wife. He's betraying his wife and his children. He's hurting his own family. He doesn't give a shit. Doesn't care. He's a sadist. Gets off on that crap. And there's a young man. Again, we are up on the holidays. And guess what? There's going to be families broken up this holiday season. They won't be together because of you. And my guys are going ballistic right now. And you asked for it. So what did you win, Charles? You don't have a date. I'm not in love with you. You make my skin crawl. You make me want to throw up every day, all the time. I hate your guts. And I'm tired of repeating myself. You're a 10-year reject. And that is the best you can do. And since you met me, how many times have you been caught? And how before? How many after? How many before? I want to know the difference because I know there's a big difference in those numbers. $25 million didn't cover up shit. Did it? What did it cover up? What'd you win? What'd you win, Charles? I wasn't in court. I didn't get to argue my side. You went into court and you lied 3 times. You got 6 perjury things against you right now, ongoing. Right now. Never before in your life have you been this caught. You've been doing this shit all your life. And you've been getting away with it all your life. And things changed forever when you met me and you attacked me. And your guy's asking, what's going on here? Charles is not controlling himself. Now, and we got a problem. Because normally these women subjugate. Not this one. She comes from cops. She comes from law enforcement. 3 generations. Who does she know? Who is this? And you will not get the answer to that question, you little weirdo. You are in trouble. And you're not smart enough to get that. You just keep going at it. You're caught. You're caught on the murder frame up. He was threatening me with that this morning. Again. I'm going to frame you for murder. I'm going to frame you for murder. I'm going to frame... Write it down and send it to me in the mail. Write it down what you're going to do to me and get away with. I want you to write it down, Perry. I want you to call Marcus Harper at TPD. And I want you to arrange a conversation without your attorney after you've been Mirandized. And you write that down on a legal pad, what you're going to do. Thinking you're going to get away with it. What you've done already. Thinking you got away with it. All right? You want to explain? Why did you explain to him? To all of us down there. Or better, Manford PD. Do you want to do that? What'd you win? I want you to tell me what you think you won. You didn't win my heart. You make me disgusted with you. I'm repulsed and disgusted with you. Everyone is. Yeah, you got leaks like a motherfucker. And who those people are is not your business. You act like you're entitled to know. You're not. You're in a lot of trouble. You don't seem to get that. You're very slow. It's frustrating to everybody that you're slow. And we have to say the same thing over and over and over and over. And we got doctors think you got Alzheimer's or senile dementia. You can't keep up with everybody else. I don't want to hear from you. It pisses me off. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. I don't want anything to do with you. I did move twice to get away from you. And you stay the fuck away from my family. You're about to get your ass kicked hard. And that's a metaphor, Matt. I shouldn't have to say that, Matt. You gotta get it. You gotta be old enough to know what a metaphor is. Y'all are stupid. You really are. It's so easy, it's not even fair. Go around, David, one more time, and tell everybody, hey, you're not gonna let this man out of jail. I dare you. I dare you. How did they even know she was in Manford? The whole thing was about stalking when it first started. If they're not stalking her, how'd they know that's where she was? We didn't know. We're not stalking her. We had no idea that's where she was at, or where she worked. You got Mickey James, you got Terry Wagner, you got Pinto, and you got David Robertson, Mr. Perry. Don't say there's no jurisdiction here, and now I hear you live up here. That you've actually been up here more than you're in Lubbock seeing your constituents and being with your family and fulfilling the duties of a legislator. You seem like you don't know what the duties are. It's not stalking. People got together and made a law in all 50 states against stalking because it's offensive. Voyeurism because it's offensive. Hacking because it's offensive. You're pissing everybody off. Now, I'm not going to tell you again. Stop. When you fuck with me, my guys go at you harder. We want this wrapped up. It would have been wrapped up a lot sooner had Tulsa police stepped up and done their part. You didn't get the phone call, Tulsa police. You're not going to get any information because you didn't. And this guy would be home. And so would Lucky Miller. And there wouldn't be a little girl going in Mom and Dad's room, sitting on Dad's side of the bed, wishing he was there. So she has a lot to say. She has a lot to tell him. I know, because I have a lot to tell my granddad. I know exactly what that feels like. There's a hurt you can't describe. No Tylenol will take it away. No ibuprofen makes that stop. It's an empty hurt. It won't go away. Ever. And then while that's happening, Charles goes, he thinks that's funny. He goes and jacks off. And everybody hates you. And now you're more caught than ever, Mr. Perry, and you will never get a date with me, you sick son of a bitch. Ever. I will never call you. And when you sit there and type on my phone, my guys sit there and watch you, and everybody's going, oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. I win, call me. 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 I'll tell you what, bitch. I'd slap the fuck out of you if I could. If you came to where I am, I have permission to do that. You win, call you? Are you shitting us? Shut up and get out. Don't hack me anymore. Get the fuck out of my phone. What do you think you won? What is it you think you won? Write it down on a piece of paper and mail it to me. Get the hell out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life. Get out of my life. Get the hell out of my life. I don't want you. What do you think you won? You bought a judge. Write that down. I bought the judge. I bought the order. We're watching for the next ones because there's about to be a series of new lawsuits against you. Series of them, Mr. Perry. You fuck with my money. You fuck with that. We're going to watch it. And we're going to use it against you. The same as we have been all this time. When you fuck with me, you get caught. There's no date. There won't be a date ever. You're not good enough for me. I don't do weirdo. I like normal guys. I like Fabian because he's working. I watched that man work his ass off. I thought that was hot. I don't like fat, lazy slobs that sit around bothering everybody. How many times were you caught before you met me and how many after? And what exactly did that 25 million plus cover up? What did it cover up? Nothing. How many times were you caught before you met me? How many after? Now you got to hire up in your thing, in your little weirdo organization, your little deviant men's club going, how come this one won't subjugate? We've turned our family against her. We put her ass in jail. We keep trying to do it again. We bought every judge we could get. We've never been sued before. Now what are we going to do? And you piss that girl off, boy, howdy, everything blows up. What's wrong with Charles? Can he control himself? No, he can't. He really can't. He's pathetic and he has no power. Tulsa, police. We're not going to slow down for you. You need to keep up with us. This man, this kid, he's going to hurt all through the holidays. So will that little girl. And Lucky's kids, all three of them, are going to hurt. There was an easy to prosecute obstruction. Destruction of evidence because Mr. Powell did not bother to preserve a fucking thing. He didn't have any intention to go into trial. But you know what? If you don't have intention to go into trial, you don't put people in jail. They retaliated because I don't like the little bitch who can't move on. Boo fucking who. Everyone gets rejected. Everyone else moves on. Why can't you? You're a failure. You're a delusional, sadistic fail, Mr. Perry. I want you to always remember, Mr. Perry, Mr. Powell, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Burson, and Mr. Chadwick. It was me who was the first to start catching your crime. I want you to remember that. Don't forget it. No one's done what I've done. Your life changed forever when you met me and you started fucking with me and my family. Nothing. You haven't seen it before. Everyone's saying the same thing. The more he pesters her, the more he takes her money, things don't go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. That was recorded too. I heard it. Got wiretap orders and shit. Please, get off me, you rapist. You didn't win anything. Your $25 million bought you the most uncovered your crime has ever been. The most it's ever been uncovered. That's what that got you. And no date. 10 years you're rejected. No date. The more you fuck with me, the more pissed off my guys get. They go at you harder. We want this wrapped up. We're happy to go up to the public, Tulsa Police, and say, we did all the work. Tulsa Police didn't really help at all. We were kind of disappointed. Had you done the obstruction, destruction of evidence, attempted murder, they tried to kill me. No evidence was preserved for a reason. Because I promise you, they accused me of filing a false police report. They knew I had to get a protective order. And if somebody's threatening you with death and false arrest, you need a protective order, don't you? I forgot it the first time. That's why it got denied. Everybody knows my story. Why don't you? Why the fuck don't you? We're seeing more of this too, Mr. Perry. This. Who did you think you're kidding? We're seeing more of that shit too, Mr. Perry. Who the fuck do you think you're kidding? How did they even know she was in Manford? We didn't know. How did he know? We're not stalking her. They are. They have to be, or they wouldn't know where she was. And, by the way, I wasn't the only one that saw it. Delusion. We need to say she's delusional. Well, I call a doctor in Oklahoma, but I have another shrink, but this one can't come out right now, remember? So I call a shrink in Oklahoma City. Can you test me for delusion? I would love to, except I can't if they didn't preserve the evidence. I have to look at what you're looking at. The evidence I listed in the police report was text and a video surveillance of Lady Godiva's on the night things escalated so badly customers complained, Mr. Robertson. You creep everybody out there. I want you to know that, Mr. Robertson. You go into Lady Godiva's, there's a whole lot of girls that go in the back and talk about you, how creepy you are, and cheap as shit. Not only is he creepy, but he didn't tip very good. Girls don't like that. They really don't. There are guys that go in those strip clubs that everybody loves to see coming. They're kind, they're fun to hang out with, and they tip good. And you're not that. You never were. You're not that guy. When you walk in, everybody's like, oh shit, not him again. Yep. So she saw what I saw. That's what the doctor said. I have to look at what you're looking at. And you see something I don't see. That's how you diagnose delusion. Otherwise, those guys in Lubbock, those two doctors Mr. Perry bought off from Texas Tech University, Robert Morgan and Megan Thune, put their license in jeopardy, and I'm not doing that. I will not do it. She saw what I saw. She saw what I didn't see. A black Lexus. We all saw the black Lexus with Texas plates. Everybody freaked out. So the Texas Mafia's here again. And when Lucky died, that murder, everybody said it. They got them both. Texas Mafia. You don't think people know? You think people are stupid like you, don't you? Listen, cut it the fuck out and get the fuck off my family today. You don't have a choice. We think it's funny that you think you do. And then you want to know who told and who are they telling. And you don't get to know that, and I will never help you. There's no secret love signal. You're the delusional one. You are bizarre. You're being stopped. Your crime is being stopped every time you're caught. And when you're caught, Richard, on the fucking phone. Ringtone Richard. Over and over and over. Gotta get a ringtone. Gotta get a ringtone. Gotta go over and over. Gotta get a car. Gotta get a car. Gotta get a car. Write it down and send that to me in the mail. All right? Send it to me in the mail. Whatever it is you think you won, Mr. Perry, write it down and send that to me in the mail. Now, fuck the hell off me. Today. You don't have a choice.